Sunshine FM here. I was going to say Tracy and the Big D. It's not, as we know. It's Liam Brew and the Big D tonight. And, mate, it's such a small world. Everywhere you took around, you see that there's Star Maker finalists, Star Maker winners all over the place. Well, I've got a privilege tonight. I've got a Star Maker winner and a Star Maker grand finalist here. And our first guest is a Star Maker grand finalist, I reckon, from 2 years ago. Last year. I reckon my memory might be right, and probably the year before. Jonny Taylor. How you going, Jonny?
G'day, fellas. I'm great, thanks.
Was it this year?
Semi-finals this year, grand finals last year, semi-finals the year before, and I am out.
You're out. You're out. Well, you don't have time for it, mate. I looked at your gig guide a couple of weeks ago, and as you know, we're trying to get Jonny Taylor to South East Queensland, and I'm looking at your gig guide. What do? 280, 300 shows a year?
Yeah, just the low 200s normally, yeah, but it's a busy life, it's a good life, it's, it's good fun being able to travel with my wife and do this, but yeah, it certainly is hectic.
So when it really came to being that you were doing it as a full-time career, were you pinching yourself or saying, this is what I wanted to do and this is what I'm doing?
I'm probably more doing that now after doing it for a living for just coming up to 5 years. Every now and then you just get swamped up in the fact that it is a business like any other business. And then I stop and realise that I just sing songs for people and sell CDs for a living, and that's actually pretty damn cool.
It's Jonny. It's hard. I'm sure you've heard this line many, many times, but people go, "Oh man, you must be so lucky to be out there just gigging every day." But people, and I'm sure you laugh just as I laugh when you hear that, but mate, they don't realise, and you have so much respect for in the industry because of the amount of work you do, but it's a hard slog to the point to get to the point where you can have 4 or 5 gigs a week and sing every day and chase them up and promote the gigs in that town. Tell us about that process of getting to that point.
Yeah, well, it's pretty much harassment to get a gig. Sometimes, especially in an area where my name may not have been heard. It can be a bit of a gamble for some venues to put the show on, so you just got to assure them that it's going to be fantastic, and if it's a complete flop, well, you don't have to convince them not to book you again. But fortunately, that hasn't happened. And then just get the posters out, make sure you're on social media, letting the people know where it is, and do our best to make everyone have a dandy time.
Do you use a management team at all, Jonny, or is that something that you and your wife run as you say it's a business? Is that something that you control yourself?
Yeah, yes, absolutely. Yeah, it's just I am the director, but being married, of course, Nicole is the boss of everything of my business and my life. So she makes sure I'm on track. But yeah, it's a really good team, mate, and it's just this is all we do as our sole income. So I think when you're in that position, when you don't have any other source of income, you just make it work. And once you create that psychological space, it becomes a lot more easier because it's part of your everyday pattern to just get out there and make a living and try and have fun doing it.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Amongst all that time gigging and chasing gigs and promoting the gigs, how do you actually find the time to sit down? I mean, first and foremost, you're a great songwriter, and I know that it's hard to get back to that point and get back in that space. So how do you make the time and find the headspace to actually just sit down, breathe, and write a song?
I actually have to book it in. It's not as magical as it used to be when I was a young fella, and I'd have these wild ideas, and all of a sudden I'd be writing songs because, like you say, Liam, it is just too busy. So I find the key is to just find a couple of days, or if I'm lucky enough, a week in my calendar where I can just lock that time aside. And I generally go out bush. I generally find a small country town somewhere where they've got like a community hall or an old church that I can hire out, and I just spend a few days there with my notebook and guitar and turn the phone off to the world and just get in that creative zone. So yeah, you got to book it in.
Well, we're sitting at the top of Buderim in southeast Queensland on the sunny coast at the moment, with one of the most spectacular views across the ocean right now. I reckon there'd be inspiration for a song here.
Yeah, I reckon I should probably pop in for a visit.
Well, speaking of that, when are we going to see you in southeast Queensland next, Jonny?
Well, I don't really know geographically what that means, but I am heading to the Gold Coast in a couple of weeks.
Oh, well, that's 2 hours down the road.
Yeah, we're about
so
2 hours
okay.
north of there.
Okay, cool. So we're getting closer.
It's getting close, mate. Getting close.
Good. I think I actually bypassed you guys entirely. So I've got 2 weeks in the Gold Coast and then heading more up towards Mackay and up to the Reef Festival in Airlie Beach. So, yeah, I'm sorry, but I'm sort of skipping over the top of you guys there. And
we'll see if we can work something out for next year, because I know there's a big fan base for Jonny Taylor's music around here, and it'd be good to see, wouldn't it, Liam? Good to see him in Southeast Queensland, yeah.
Yeah, it would be awesome, yeah. And my wife is, she's like a lizard. She'll just go wherever the sun is. So if you can guarantee it's going to be warm and sunny up there, fellas, I reckon you'd be able to drag us up there.
Well, it is called the Sunshine Coast, so we'll do our best.
Mate, the new single, I Believe in You, when that's a soul writing effort from you, or have you had a bit of a collaboration? What's the story there?
No, that was solely written by me. I don't do a lot of co-writing, probably more to do with the fact that I'm never in one spot long enough to enjoy those luxuries. But yeah, this was just a real simple song that I just wanted to come out with a nice positive message, especially for the youth. And in the video clip, I had a heap of young people involved, just to let people know that we're not in this life alone, and that we can be there to support each other.
Mate, it's a great message. It's fantastic to catch up with you. All the best with the touring, and certainly with the new single. If people want to find out more about Jonny Taylor, how do they do it?
They go to www.johnny.taylormusic.com, or Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all those other little bits and pieces. And yes, Jonny with no H. If you spell it incorrectly, you will come up with a African-American disco singer from the 70s.
Well, there's a point for you, folks. Now listen, if you do like what
I have the same problem with mine.
If you I've never really wanted to Google search Big D, so I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to end that right now.
Yeah, I think you take the win there.
All right, folks. If you do like what you hear tonight, why not jump on one of the websites or the Facebook, the social media, and get in contact and give some feedback back to Jonny. He's working hard to keep us entertained. Mate, all the best. Give Nicole all of our love, and we'll look forward to seeing you sometime soon.
Thanks so much for your time, fellas. I appreciate it.